Hi there, Internet. My name's Court, and welcome to the Storyboard, a brief, weekly rundown of movie and entertainment news. New episodes are every Saturday, so be sure to subscribe so you'll always be in the know. Yes, I said Saturday. I've decided to push the Storyboard to Saturdays instead of Fridays, because Thursday is when I go see opening movies, so a Friday review should take precedence. Okay, the news. Let's get it, shall we? WGA Strike averted. This is huge news for Hollywood. As I reported in last week's Storyboard, the Writers Guild of America was poised to go on strike, and the talks between the WGA and the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers came down to the last second. Fortunately, a tentative deal has been reached between the two parties, and the strike is not likely to happen. New aspects of the deal include an increase in episodic wages, 15% increase on pay TV residuals, and job protection for parental leave. The impending strike could have crippled Hollywood, not to mention all of the smaller workers like craft services or even local businesses that rely on film crews who would have been out of work. Congratulations all around. Neil Blomkamp's Alien 5 is no more. Blomkamp rose to notoriety with 2009's District 9, a fantastic alien film set in South Africa, which utilized the concept of segregation to highlight the differences between humans and the aliens known as prawns. While Blomkamp's later films Chappie and Elysium failed to make much of a mark with audiences, his plan for a sequel to Alien Resurrection had a lot of people, myself included, very interested. Then, of course, following Prometheus, director Ridley Scott created the upcoming Alien Covenant, which would bridge the gap between Prometheus and his original 1979 film Alien. This sidelined Blomkamp, and Scott has gone on record saying, quote, "There was never a script. It was an idea that evolved from, I believe, a 10-page pitch, and I was meant to be the producer on that. And it didn't evolve. Fox decided that they didn't want to do it, and that was it." End quote. As much as I loved District 9, and as much as I didn't care for Prometheus, I am rather happy that this alien bridging movie is going back into the hands of Scott. The trailers, as well as the short films like The Last Supper and The Crossing, both of which I believe were directed by Scott's son Luke, and I'll leave links in the description, look fantastic, and I'm excited to go back into the sci-fi horror world of the Xenomorphs. American Gods premiere. I've read Neil Gaiman's American Gods, and while I recall liking it quite a bit, I don't remember it all that well. Having said that, the pilot episode of Brian Fuller's series dropped recently, and I really enjoyed it. The episode was titled The Bone Orchard and carried with it showrunner Brian Fuller's visual style that made the series Hannibal such a delight to watch. The episode was surreal, beautiful, and mostly very well acted. I didn't love Ricky Whittle as Shadow Moon, the protagonist, but I didn't love the character in the book either. Ian McShane was absolutely perfect as Mr. Wednesday, and I can't wait to see episode 2. Lightning round. Melissa McCarthy is reported to have joined the cast of director Brian Henson, son of the legendary Jim Henson, upcoming risque puppet film The Happy Time Murders. The film will combine human actors as well as Muppets, and the plot has been described thusly. In a world where puppets coexist with humans as second-class citizens, puppet private eye and disgraced ex-cop Phil Phillips is hot on the trail of the serial killer who murdered his brother and is now targeting the cast members of the famous 80s television show The Happy Time Gang. As the killings continue, Phil's former flame Jenny is next on the list. It's up to Phil and his ex-partner, Detective Edwards, to find the culprit, but as bad blood and old resentments surface, the clues start pointing to the only viable suspect, Phil himself. Now he's on the run with only his wits and hard-headed determination as he tries to solve the Happy Time Murders. I am so on board for that premise. I'm mixed on McCarthy, but she does have the ability to knock it out of the park, and I feel like the absolute noir absurdity of this idea will work wonderfully with her comic sensibilities. HBO is currently developing up to 4 Game of Thrones spin-off properties. In no way does this mean that we'll be getting 4 new shows, however. They've hired 4 different writers to develop and pitch various ideas covering the history of George R.R. Martin's literary universe. It is possible that more than one could eventually be greenlit, but I don't expect we'll have any solid answers anytime soon. But with Game of Thrones sprinting towards its final end, any news is good news. Martin and Thrones showrunners David Benioff and D.B. Weiss will likely remain as executive producers on all of these projects. Earlier today, Warner Bros. Pictures released the new main trailer for Christopher Nolan's upcoming World War II film Dunkirk. I did a trailer reaction and I'll leave a link in the description. I didn't love the trailer as much as I'd hoped. I'm a much bigger fan of the teaser that they put out months back. Having said that, I'm very excited for this film and we'll certainly be seeing it opening day. The Dark Tower trailer. I did a special edition of the Storyboard all about upcoming Stephen King stuff a week or so ago, and I'll leave a link in the description. But one thing I mentioned in that video was that the Dark Tower trailer would be dropping any day. It dropped early Wednesday morning, and it's okay. I love King, but I've only read The Gunslinger, which I didn't like very much. I'm very curious about this movie, and again, I'll be seeing it opening night. The trailer was cool, but it didn't really grab me by the throat. Considering that it's a huge property and that there's only 3 more months until its release, expect a lot more marketing soon. Better Call Saul. The latest episode of Better Call Saul is one of my favorites ever. Sabrosito, and we're getting into spoiler-heavy territory here, so assume the position. I'll put a spoiler warning on the screen if you don't want to hear anything if you're behind, so just scrub ahead until it goes away. Cool? Okay. Gus Fring is shown to be a chicken restaurant running pushover. And then he's shown to be the brilliant, cunning mind that we remember. The opening shot is a reflection of the death of Don Eladio, making the same face and in the same pool, no less. Jimmy, Chuck, and Kim are barely in the episode as it deals almost entirely with Gus, Mike, and Hector. The episode further clarified but did not confirm my, well, not just my, longtime suspicion that Gus's Hermanos business partner, Maximino Arciniega, was also likely Gus's lover. The episode ends with a brutal cliffhanger. Brutal not in a violent sense, but in a how could you leave me hanging like that sense. Truly, the end of any episode of Better Call Saul is the worst part of my week. And that's the storyboard. What do you think of these stories? What did you think of the Dark Tower trailer or the first episode of American Gods? Whatever your thoughts, hit the comments below and let's discuss. If you enjoyed the storyboard, please like and share this video as it totally helps me to build this channel. And you can subscribe by clicking the Court Shake logo at the bottom right of your screen, which should be popping up anytime now. New episodes of the Storyboard every Saturday. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.